Hello everybody and welcome to Let's Go Racing. We are live from SUZUKA for the first round of the 2019 Super Formula Championship and we're super excited to be here. My name's Sam Collins and I'm joined here in our new and as to be unnamed studio by Leo Gorman.
We're going to have to work on that actually. Yes, absolutely wonderful to be here for this 2019 Super Formula Championship. Really looking forward to commentating on this championship this year because these are fantastic cars, Sam. New cars as well.
Absolutely brand new. This is the new Dallara sf.19, which is a completely new car for the series. It is a one-make single-seater. Every single chassis is the same, as you can see with the halos there. They're super lightweight, 660 kilos compared to sort of the near on 800 kilos of a fully laden Formula One car. Power, though, is quite interesting. The engines are four-cylinder inline turbocharged units from Honda and Toyota, but Toyota have bought, this is the first race for a brand new Toyota engine. The Honda engine is largely identical to the one used in Super GT, but the Toyota is something different. Just look on the outside pole there. Does it look like the car there has got his chock under the wheel still?
Yeah, that's second on the grid. That's Alex Palou. It definitely looks as if there's something left. And
yeah, there was.
Now that's going to be a penalty,
yeah,
surely, because it's past the 15-second countdown. Markers, all mechanics must be off the grid 15 seconds before that final green light. So unfortunately, before the race has even started, it's possible the front row man, Alex Palou, could actually have a drive-through penalty. We'll see how that happens, how that's interpreted by the stewards.
Yeah.
But generally, normally in motorsport, that is a bit of a slam dunk, unfortunately. As they get away from the grid, it's Nakajima Racing have locked out the front row. First time in quite a number of years that they've had that they've done anything quite like that in qualifying. And it's a former champion. Not former champion, but it is Tadasuke Makino on pole position.
And both of their cars starting on the soft tyre. Now, two types of tyre in Super Formula. All the tyres are supplied by Yokohama, but there is a soft tyre and a medium tyre. Oddly, no hard tyre, but just a soft and a medium. Every car has to use both compounds during the race. Over the race weekend, the teams get 6 different sets of tyres, four new and 2 used. Don't know how you turn up at a race with a new tyre, but there you go. And you can see it on the screen there. Makino and Palou 1 and 2 with the little red S next to their name. That is their on the soft tyre. Then the 2 cars behind them on the mediums. Keep an eye on that. Air temperature 25 degrees centigrade, track temperature nearly 40 degrees centigrade. It's a bit hot there at SUZUKA.
Now, there's if you're looking at the kind of standings there on the left-hand side of your screen, you will notice or you'll recognise some of the names there as well. 8th place, you've got Kamui Kobayashi, former Formula One driver for several years for Sauber, and he did a couple of time in Toyota as well. Dan Tinktum there is the twice Macau Grand Prix winner. He's a Red Bull Junior driver. Nick Cassidy, 3-time New Zealand Grand Prix winner and Toyota Racing Series champion. Lucas Auer, DTM at Mercedes. You've got Kazuki Nakajima there, starting 19th on the grid after an incident during qualifying.
Yeah, it's been an absolute nightmare for the Toms cars. They had the green and white Toms cars totaling 36 and 37. So we saw, well, we didn't see it unfortunately because we were having a little bit of an issue with the broadcast at that point. But there was a shunt between Harrison Newey, son of Adrian, and Nakajima in qualifying, and that saw them both down the end. Nick Cassidy, last year's championship challenger, well down the field, sitting there starting in 12th position, but he felt that his car is somehow down on downforce and the team don't understand it. First time out for these cars, so they're not sure what's going to work. But in a minute, we're going to see 20 times 650 brake horsepower revs rising as we get ready for the start of this round 1 of the 2019 Super Formula Series.
Now, as they line up on the grid, you're going to see Tadasuke Makino. He's going to be on the right-hand side of the screen in pole position. Alongside him is going to be Alex Palou, teammates here, Nakajima Racing, powered by Honda. Then on the second row of the grid is Naoki Yamamoto for Dandelion Racing. Spent several years with Team Mugen, won the championship last year by a single point from Nick Cassidy. Fourth on the grid is going to be Narei Fukuzumi. That's Yamamoto's teammate. Yuhi Sakaguchi, 5th place for Team Impul. And starting 6th is going to be Kenta Yamashita for Kondo Racing.
Ryo Hirakawa is 7th. 8th position is Kamui Kobayashi. 9th, Yuji Kunimoto. And Tomoki Nojiri in 10th position rounds out the top 10 for Team Mugen. Not at all works, but there's Makino on the pole position. We're going to see those 5 lights any moment as the cars line up on the grid. That's one of the Team Ingen cars on the pole. Yeah, and there you go, first and second. That's all the all Nakajima line up. Will there be a penalty for Alex Palou? I suspect there will.
And look at the way Palou's car is lined up on the grid. It's very much attack mode, leaning very much to the left, as Makino's car is leaning quite a bit to the right.
Well, it doesn't look good going into turn 1 here at SUZUKA. Well, Mr. Green Flag in his orange suit thinks it's right. We're about to get the 5 lights on here for round 1 of the 2019 Super Formula Series on Let's Go Racing. And we are racing indeed. And it's a great start for the Nakajima Racing cars, but a real challenge coming up there from Yamamoto, reigning champion, trying to go around the outside into turn 1. Gets up to second. His teammate right on the tail of him as well.
And I think it's Fukuzumi's going to try and go around the outside of Palou for 3rd place. Will he make it there? It's a car going to the inside just about, but Palou holds out and keeps Fukuzumi behind. Meanwhile, Makino shoots off into a very good early lead on the first of 43 laps.
It's going to be really important for Makino to get away, though. That gap is crucial. He is on the soft tyre. He's going to have to pit sooner than the car in 2nd position. That Docomo-sponsored car is Yamamoto, the reigning double champion. Won Super GT with Jenson Button and Super Formula last year. But is Palou, on those softer tyres, going to get past him on that?
He's going to need to. He's going to need to very quickly.
Yeah. Well, we're getting down there. This is absolutely the same layout as used in the Formula 1 races, and these cars are, well, about mid to back of the grid pace for the Formula 1 cars in 2014, the first year of the hybrid era. And
we see it's Alex Palou looking down the inside and Spoon. It's really not a standard overtaking place you would ever see, but it's actually brought him back towards Fukuzumi there.
Keep an eye on the roll hoops of these cars as they're wheel by wheel to wheel on the back straight. That's never going to end well as they go into 130. Ah, this is fantastic stuff. Keep an eye on the roll hoops. As I was saying, these cars have a push-to-pass system. Each driver gets 100 seconds of extra fuel flow limits, and that will give them a boost to overtake the car in front. The roll hoop starts off green, as you can see most of the cars, but when they're flashing, they have deployed that overtaking boost system as Alex Palou tries to get round Yamamoto using that extra power boost round the outside. Now, he's got 100 seconds before he can use that power boost again. So Yamamoto can use it to come back at him, but you don't want to do it in the snake.
Palou around the outside of
Go on, do the snake names. They do exist.
Of Yamamoto. Around the first corner there, as Makino's got a 2-second lead. Now you will notice 2 elements that on the top of the screen there is lap 2 of 43. It is also a timed race. It's a 90-minute race. So if we get to 90 minutes before the 43 laps are done, the race will end at the end of that lap. But I don't see that happening. I think this is
a crash. Here's a replay of the start, and look at Yamamoto, brilliant off the line on the tail of those Nakajima racing cars. Shuts the door round the outside, no contact, very clean racing off start, but there was someone locking their wheel. We didn't quite see who it was. They didn't touch though, and very clean getaway for all cars. Bit of a grid shuffle. The Tom's cars working their way up. You can see how good that start was, but look at there, coming from 5th position there. That was a fantastic start, up to 4th, then trying to go round for 3rd position and getting it. And nearly getting into 2nd there was Hirakawa, was it? Was it Sekiguchi?
No,
well, here he is. In car 19, it is indeed Sekiguchi.
Yes, it is.
He made that absolutely astonishing start, now giving Yamamoto a hard life. But he needs to be careful because his teammate is right on his tail in that Team Impel car. Team Impel, of course, the people who run the blue car in Super GT.
But Sekiguchi's on soft tyre, so he needs to make hay while he can at this stage. At the moment, the two leaders really running away from this field.
So just a little
Makino and Palou are nearly 5 seconds ahead.
To finish that thought, to explain the flashy lights on the roll hoop. So if the lights are flashing fast, they have the OTS, the overtaking system, activated, and each driver can use it for up to 100 seconds, but they only get 100 seconds for the entire race. When it's flashing slowly, so on-off, so, you know, the dash, not the dot, that means they're still waiting for it to recharge and recycle so they can use it again, as those Impel cars are really, really threatening the Dandelion racing car of Yamamoto. Locomo Dandelion Racing, one of those teams that doesn't compete in Super GT, but well known in Super Formula.
We'll say third lap of this race. Biggest mover so far. Actually, you can see 12th place, Dan Tinktum. He's moved 4 positions in the first couple of laps of this race. He also needs to make it go while he can. He's on soft tyres. As you can see, the changing positions there on the screen.
San looked uncomfortable. It's unusual seeing Hoshino-san with the name Toyota next to his name. Toyota engine cars, obviously, for Team Impel in this championship, and his car's under giving serious pressure to the Team Dandelion Racing. But look at the sidewalls of the tyres. A little red tyre sidewall indicates that soft tyre that Sekiguchi is using. And here he goes, trying to get it done into 130R and making it stick around
Absolutely
the outside.
Fantastic overtake there from Sekiguchi. Really good, brave move.
And here comes Hirakawa on his tail to get... I think Hirakawa's going to have a go now at Yamamoto, who is falling prey to both of these Team Impel cars. They need to get on the tail of the Honda-powered Nakajima Racing cars, though.
And very much Yamamoto destabilised there to a degree when Sekiguchi went by. But now down to 5th place as Hirakawa goes down the inside.
Now, something we didn't see, but the person who's the big loser so far in this race is Kazuya Oshima in the Team Le Mans Toyota-powered car. On medium tyres, he's lost 7 places
He's actually
off the line.
I think he's actually just dropped down in the last lap.
Yeah, I saw some flying down the order. Has he pitted? Let's have a look. We haven't seen it on the screen. No sign of the pit stops yet, but yeah, he's just lost a huge amount of time. No, he's out there in Sector 2. Not quite sure what's happened to him, but he's lost a huge amount of time on the opening lap. So now we see a bit further down the field that the battle's going on up and down. I love the look of this Mugen powered car. Mugen has 2 cars in this championship. This Motul branded car, which has this really distinctive livery, but also you get the 2 Red Bull liveried cars. Now, one Red Bull livery card is a Honda powered Mugen run entry, and the other Lucas Auer's car is also Honda powered, but it's run by BMAX Racing with Motorpark.
It's a new team in Super Formula this season. Motorpark, a team that's actually run in Formula 3 mostly over the years, both German Formula 3 and European. As we see in
they're getting past in the KCMG car, the sole KCMG car in this race.
Bit of a mistake there by Ashura, I think it was.
Yeah,
she had a wobble.
Fukuzumi,
Got a wobble through Spoon Curve. Fukuzumi's really fallen down the order, considering he started 4th, had a bad start, but he's lost a few more positions since then. And interesting, Fukuzumi and Yamamoto seem to be struggling in these early laps.
Yeah, I mean, I think a few of the teams are still coming to terms with this SF19 Dallara, because we heard from Nick Cassidy as the 2 Nakajima Racing cars are together at the front of the field. That could be quite exciting. What if they have team orders in the Nakajima Racing camp?
It's 0.3 of a second between the 2 leaders at the moment. As we see, Makino lost a little bit of time. He lost 0.7 of a second on that last lap, and it's allowed Pelu to actually close up. Sekiguchi nearly 7 seconds adrift in 3rd place at the moment. As it stands, this race is really between Makino and Pelu.
Well, if you're enjoying this, don't forget to hit like and subscribe. First time we've said that on Let's Go Racing. But it is important that you do that, because we want to bring you lots more racing through this year. Questions coming in, of course, unexpectedly, about the Super GT situation. Well, there's discussions ongoing, and hopefully we'll have some news for you soon. But now, looking on the Nakajima Racing pit wall, they have decisions to make, do they? Because it looks like Palou is quicker than Makino, but do they let him go? I don't think they're going to, but how quickly is Sekiguchi catching them now? He has been released. The Team Impel cars are on the move, and certainly Sekiguchi is going significantly quicker than these 2 Nakajima Racing cars. He's got 5.9 seconds to make up, but he's going a second a lap quicker.
I think that one of the key issues is Makino on that last lap. Actually, he must have made a mistake somewhere, because he dropped nearly a second in one of the sectors, and that's kind of brought him back up towards Pelu.
Well, I wonder if they're trying to save their tyres, these 2 cars, because they've got a bit of a gap. They're both on the softs, these Honda engine cars. They're running 143.1 and 143.4. But behind them, Yuhi Sekiguchi, also on the soft bit in the Toyota. Yeah, he's on a 42.2. So he's really hunting these 2 down. The gap is still sitting at 5.9 seconds, but I think that's because my timing screen hasn't updated properly.
But Sam, at this point, I mean, what is as we see
now? That is Dan Ticktum, the Red Bull young driver, trying to go round the outside in at turn 1 and not making it work on Nirei Fukuzumi.
Fukuzumi now dropped down to 10th.
Yeah, he's really. I mean,
both struggling.
Yeah, these Dandelion Racing cars are really struggling.
What is the optimum time to actually to take it on these soft tyres in Super Formula?
I'm not sure, because it's the first time on these cars. The first time there has been a test at Suzuka, but the conditions are a bit cooler. So I think there's a little bit of a voyage of the unknown here. It's not like Super GT. Here we go. Well, that's the question answered. One of the
Tom's cars coming in.
So the Tom's car, that'll be 36 or 37. They are not having a stellar race, the Tom's car. Nick Cassidy is the top one in 13th position. And then
Nakajima.
Yeah. Which just is just I just noticed on the screen, it confused me. Just Kaz. I was like, where's Nak?
Nakajima had an incident in qualifying, as we explained earlier on. He clashed with Harrison Nui in Spoon Corner, which left him starting 19th. As we see the leading cars still going around first and second. They're controlling their pace at the moment. They're back in the mid to late 42s.
Now that was a strange moment where they really dropped back into those 43s. They're still slower than Yuhi Sekiguchi, but
they've managed
not by as much.
Yeah, they seem to be managing.
There he is in top of your screen, you can see. So that car is hunting them down. And, Nakajima Racing really need to work out what to do with these two cars up front.
Sekiguchi has actually just set his personal best. The gap now, as you can see, is in around 5 seconds. But the leading pair set a really fast pace early laps. And this is what I'm wondering now. The leading pair were in the 41s. In fact, I think Paley scored the fastest lap of the race so far, 41.0, as we see Cassidy in first.
And he is going on to, that looks like the softer tyre going onto the car. Love it, jumped over the car to do the pit stop. That's
he actually jumped over the nose cone, I believe.
I'd like to see an F1 team employ that. That was pretty impressive.
That's a very long time to make the soft tyres last. He's still got 36 laps of this race to go.
Yeah, he's going to have to control the pace, but he's going to be in clear air for most of it, so he's not going to be killing the tyres so much. And if you look at the roll hoop, it's plain green, which means he hasn't used much of his overtaking system. The LEDs on the top of that roll hoop will actually change colour progressively through the race, and the more they get used, they end up on red. When it goes red, it means there's only 20 seconds or nothing left of that overtaking system. So I think it goes green, blue, red.
As I see, once again, going back to the leading two, Makino still leading, Pelo second place, but Sekiguchi is closing in bit by bit. He's taking about half a second off the leading pair each lap around, closing in bit by bit. It's going to be under 5 seconds this time around.
Makino is being slowed down, Palu rather is being slowed down by Makino here, and I think the team need to do something about it, but I think they're going to be allowed to fight. Well, people who would definitely fight, that's one of the Team Ingen cars there.
Sekiguchi's really putting everything through that first set of tyres.
The cameraman doesn't know where to look, because Kamui Kobayashi's just got on the back of that group of 3. Then we've got these two here. If you look just in front, there's another fantastic battle going on. And I'm just looking at the timing screen, trying to keep track of it. This is good fun, this Super Formula stuff, isn't it? And here we go. This is that is the Team Ingen car trying to go round, and I can never tell these two Team Ingen cars apart.
That's Yamashita that is being challenged at the moment. That is for 8th place. Ishura 9th, challenging
and Tictum just on the tail of them. Just in front of them, you've got Kobayashi Nojiri and Naoki Yamamoto, I think that is. Yeah, it is in the number 1 car, of course.
And then this is a great
seconds down now.
This is actually a great race so far for Tictum, as we see Oshira coming in from last place.
Onto the soft tyres as well. So they do think the soft tyres have got life now, don't they? That's interesting to see that they think the soft tyres can go this long in the race. So they're not all that soft at all. Swine Brothers are, so is Super Formula like the Japanese IndyCar, a standalone series, not just a feeder to F1? Exactly right, Swine Brothers. Super Formula is the equivalent of, they wanted it to be the Japanese F1. And it's actually a lot quicker than IndyCar, and we believe it to be quicker than Formula 2, though. It's a little difficult to work that one out. Now, will Palu have a go? I think they're
holding station.
Yeah,
I think they're holding station,
aren't
they? But it's a very dangerous strategy, because Sekiguchi is closing bit by bit. Actually, the times are beginning to level out.
Palu is in the pits now,
pits.
yes. I spotted it on the timing screen momentarily before I saw it on camera. So that is the way they're deciding to settle this. So he will be in for the medium.
Oh, it's not
attire.
drive-through penalty. Drive-through penalty.
That's for the...
And that was for the on the start line. The mechanic had to go up to the car past the 15-second marker. And that is going to drop Pelu right, probably down to about 15th, 16th place, maybe.
Gets the run round the Ingen car into turn 1. That was really impressive. We just missed it. As Dan Tictum's on the back of that group now, and into the middle of all of this comes Pelu.
He's going to be down at maybe 12th or 13th, something like that. But
as is usual for Japanese racing, doesn't look like we go. And there's been a big shunt, huge shunt, 2 cars off. And I can't work out which corner that is, and I can't even tell you who that is buried in the barrier. That is on the exit of 130. Well, this is going to be a safety car at the very least. Yeah, he's looking for recovery there.
This would have to be. He's buried very much in the tyre bar, and it's going to require a little bit of rebuilding of the
car
tyre
17.
barrier.
Is that Charpentier in car 17?
Yes, it is. That is the inexperienced Tristan Carpentier. Only his 48th race in his racing career. He's jumped from British Formula 3.
And I think it may be Hirakawa there, just jumping out of the car in front. We didn't see what's happened. He looks like he's got all 4 wheels on his wagon.
I don't know if that's
one of the Team Impel drivers.
Is that a separate incident?
Yeah, that's Hirakawa. So Hirakawa and Charpentier came together in the look of it in 130R. Well, that's good to see. A big impact at 130R, because you don't have a small impact. And Charpentier clearly out of the car and looking a bit dejected.
Youngest driver in the field, of course, only 18 years old. The only driver in the field born in the 2000s, Sam.
Wow, that makes me feel both old and amazed.
But yes, only his 48th race. He's previously competed in British Formula 3 and French Formula 4. And so it's good to see him out of the car. He needs a bit more time in the car, I think.
I think so too. Well, let's have a look, see how this happened. Well, there was a blur and some dust and a crash.
It's actually, did he go off by himself? I think that might be. I think that's 2 separate incidents. I think Hirakawa may have just stopped.
Yeah, well, everybody's diving now to pit lane for a new set of booties, unsurprisingly. And
that is race leader just coming out of the pits now, isn't it?
We're going to have a bit of NASCAR-style restart. It's a race for tyres in the pit. Now, as you can see, some of the cars, oh, that was extremely close.
Oh, that's Tington coming into the pit now.
I was about to comment that obviously each team has only 1 garage, so like Formula 1. So some of these cars are being double stacked. So they've all been watching Mercedes. There's a car stopped on pit lane. Now I don't know why he was stopped. He's got going again. That is one of the, I think it's...
That's Sekiguchi. That's Sekiguchi.
Oh, well, it's all going wrong right now for Impel, isn't it? It is absolutely, their race was looking good, and it's all falling apart. Tictum now, he lost time because his teammate, the motor liveried car, was already in the pit box. One of the Ingen cars also having lost time there as well. And coming out there in haze, in that white car, is another car I think may have lost a chunk of time in a stacked pit stop. I'm just trying to see. Oh, and there you see in the back Lucas Al coming out the pits as well. Well, let's have a look. We'll have a rundown of who's where in the order in a moment once they've all sort of settled into the snake. Might take a little while, this safety car.
See Lucas Al just exiting the pits now. And yeah, that's pretty much dropped Lucas Al right to the very, very back of the running field.
Well, thanks very much, Stuff and more. We do have on Let's Go Racing the option to join the channel. Apparently you get some nice stuff, including a little emoji, which I still have yet to see. But, well, thanks to everybody who's supported us so far in this new adventure on YouTube. Aidan Brackman says, apparently the 2018 Super Formula would have been 19th at Suzuka compared to that year's F1 car, a.k.a. faster than Williams. I'm not sure that's true, but certainly they would have been up the grid on... doesn't look very damaged for an off at 130R.
No, actually, I think he got away with it. It's going to be very well. Obviously, the wings got damage on at the
it's got all
right front wheel.
It's got at least 3 of the 4 wheels on. Well, there they go. Palu second.
It's a very, very curious incident because it did look as if it was 2 completely separate incidents.
A question just came in from James Guthrie. Which do I prefer commentating on, Super GT or Super Formula? This is my first time doing Super Formula and I'm really loving it. Well, I love doing both. There you go. There's a non-answer for you. We had some people who've already to say thank you to, though, didn't we, while we've got this moment under the safety car.
Absolutely. For a few members who've joined Let's Go Racing already, we need to put a thanks to P Rallyvideos, Ddogphace Morcane, Tom Porter. Very much, thank you very much. Username is in use. Gaunt Pisces19, Bucktide, Dougal14.
Is that an Irish satellite?
It probably is. That's where Dermot Morgan is right now, actually. Devin Mitchell, of course, Thomas Loiseau, Derek Lundie, WhalesTasteGreat, GG0454, and AJ Rottini. Thank you all very, very much for joining and subscribing to Let's Go Racing. And surely we'll have lots of fantastic content for you. And that is Sakaguchi coming back into the pits.
Yeah.
Now, Sakaguchi had stopped in the pits following his pit stop a few moments ago.
Do you think he saw the pit box was occupied and he couldn't stop? We haven't got the drive-through penalty graphic, so I'm not quite sure.
No, that looks too slow even for the
I think
pit
he's
lanes.
got a problem.
Yeah, that's too slow for even for a pit stop. He's no drive. He's no drive.
Yeah, the clutch is gone.
So I wonder if exiting the pit, if he's burnt the clutch.
Yeah, I think he's killed the clutch on the pit stop. So as I say, first race for these new cars, there are going to be some gremlins.
What a shame.
In a Toyota engine car, first race anywhere in the world for this Biz 001 Toyota engine. Now, this is an engine developed by TRD in Yokohama, or in their new facility now, which I can't remember the name of. Shonan Technical Facility. I've just been nudged. And that is an engine that is derived from the Super GT engine, but it's commercially available. So if you want the engine that Toyota make for this Super Formula car, you can go and buy it from them as a kit of parts.
Very dejected Sakaguchi there. He'd climbed up to second just before the safety car, following Alex Pelu's pit stop.
Well, let's have a look at the race order now. It seems to settle down behind the Honda NSX safety car. Kamui Kobayashi leads this race in the KCMG Toyota-powered car. He's on the soft tyre. Then Yuji Kunimoto. Alex Palou is down to second. So Kobayashi really benefited from this.
Kobayashi's not pitted, I don't think.
You're right. That's how Kobayashi's got up to the top. And Kunimoto is also not pitted. So that's an interesting strategy from those two.
It's interesting actually for Kobayashi because he's still on a soft tyre. Kunimoto, he's on the mediums. He might be able to pull this off if he can keep temperature.
But he's not stopped either, so he has to stop again.
He will, yeah. On the medium tyre, though, if he can make this last till much later in the race, he may be able to build something from there.
And if there is another incident or safety car, that could help them. You can see the number of cars that have stopped. P1 is not LMP1, is the number of pit stops that they've made. P2, not LMP2, is Sakaguchi, 2 stops and out of the race, clearly.
Pelu, though, came out in the pits on soft tyres. He started on softs. So he may have to pit again.
That's a very, very good point. Now, I with the understanding they have to use both compounds. So, yeah, 2-stop strategy.
That is very, very interesting. And bear in mind, this is still a reasonably long race. It's still a 250-kilometre race. It's 43 laps. This is effectively 80% the length of a Grand Prix. So a 2-stop strategy for tyres, if you can make it work, is not necessarily beyond the realms of possibility. As we begin to go green again, the safety car has pulled in. The cars begin to speed up as they come through the chicane, the last couple of corners, and we are about to go green for lap 12 of this 43-lap race.
Well, Kamui Kobayashi's already hit attack mode. He is going for it.
He has to. He absolutely has to nail the next few laps.
And wheel to wheel, they're all ready. So yeah, that is the Nakajima racing car still with that speed, going around the outside into turn 1.
That's Palu
making it easy. Now Kobayashi's going to be looking at his mirrors. Palu's going to be coming like a Nakajima Honda-powered steam train.
And there you have, in 5th place at the moment is Nick Cassidy. So
he's been the big winner of this this safety car sequence. 5th position in the Tom's Toyota car. He has stopped. He's on the soft tyre.
So when Kunimoto and Kobayashi pit, it pretty much brings Cassidy into 3rd place. Now, interestingly enough, through qualifying from practice, Cassidy was saying how he was struggling with the balance, didn't really have enough downforce in the car, but in warm-up this morning, he set the 2nd fastest time, and they may have worked on that car overnight, and maybe they have actually found something that's finally clicked on the Tom's car.
But when you see just behind Cassidy is his championship rival from last year, scores to be settled there with Naoki Yamamoto. Car 1 in P6, just behind Nick Cassidy. But we are watching now, well, battles throughout the field. And it's quite hard to keep track of who's fighting who, because everybody's fighting everybody. So let's concentrate on what we are seeing on the screen. That is the Nakajima racing car of Alex Palou being chased by Yuji Kunimoto in the... No, it's not. Nicked oil. There's something's just happened on the timing screen, and I'm not seeing it on camera. There it is.
That is Nakajima.
That's Cassidy.
Sorry, Cassidy.
Cassidy's up to third position now.
He is just taking Kunimoto.
Yeah. And Cassidy is really on the move. Let's have a look at the lap times as they come across the stripe right now. Palou is the fastest man out there at the moment.
He's surely going to have Kobayashi soon, as we see.
Well, that's
Kunimoto's struggling now. He's still on. He hasn't pitted. He's still on the older medium tires. Just been taken for 4th place by Yamamoto, last year's champion. But Kobayashi's going to have a very difficult time to hold off Palou. And Palou has to go as well, because if Palou does have to pit again, and he needs to build a long gap. And I can see the sense in Kobayashi's strategy as we see a replay here. This is Cassidy.
Yeah, this is why I was hesitating, because clearly this kicked off and we didn't see it on camera first time round, because Cassidy made a huge number of positions in one lap. And well, he's up to 3rd position now and hunting down Palou and Kobayashi. Kobayashi though looks to be, he is slower than Palou.
Kobayashi's in the mid 42s. Palou 2nd place in the late 41s. Cassidy, meanwhile, last lap was 7/10 faster.
I think we're watching the wrong battle at the moment.
This is Yamamoto on his own.
Well, it's not
4th place.
Yeah, he's just driving around in 5th at the moment, Yamamoto.
No, he has taken. He's just waiting to update, but he has taken Kunimoto.
Yeah, he's got his way up through Kunimoto, and he's out on his own. So
he's lost. He's lost. I think he got held up, so he's lost a couple of seconds there when he was behind Kunimoto, and it's allowed Cassidy, etc., to pull away slightly.
I want to see the battle for the lead though, because Palou and Kobayashi are separated by 6/10. And everybody down to Makino in 5th position is on the soft tyre. Yeah, we can see at the top of the screen the battle is raging at the front, and there's battles throughout the field as one of the Ingen cars gets a move done at down start finish straight on the overboost.
Another loss of position there for Kunimoto.
Yeah.
It's not working out at this stage, not working out at all.
Well, Palou and Kobayashi are matching each other for pace up the front of the field as we're getting an interview break in, as you can hear.
It's just an interview
with a driver who isn't in the race anymore.
Sakaguchi, who's got a very interesting hairstyle, by the way. Meanwhile, the big loser in the pit stops there, as we noticed, was Dan Tickton, who had got up to the top 10 during the race, but is now running 17th.
Yeah, that's not gone well for him. But I think a lot of this is down to the stacking in the pit stop. So his teammate was in the pit when he came in, so he lost a load of time there.
And Lucas Auer, the other Red Bull car, is just ahead of him in 16th place, so it's not worked out for the 2 Red Bull junior drivers in the slightest, really.
Good. I was about to say, I was hoping we wouldn't stay on that interview for very long, because there's a massive battle going on track, and there it is. It's many massive battles.
Kobayashi's pushing. Kobayashi is pushing. He set his personal best last time round, really pushing in the early 42s. And Cassidy's settling into a pace as well.
Yeah, now these guys are all on the soft tyres. I'm interested to see if it is a 2-stop strategy on these tyres. I think it might be. So it doesn't look like the softs go as far as well. Now, into team battle it is
Nojiri.
Yeah, Nojiri trying to, and he's got that flashy light on the roll hoop, which means he's got the he had the overtaking system, but sneaking up the inside there.
That is Oshira, is it? Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. Yeah,
he was running last earlier on in this race. Has gained an awful lot on the pit stops. Probably he made some moves himself. But I think we're going to see a move here. Kunimoto's going to lose another position.
Yeah, well, it's an all-Kondo battle right there. But yeah, look at that. Around the outside of Oshiro, it was an attempt by Nakajima. As well, we've got a 5-way battle now. So the Kondo racing cars there, the red and white cars. Kondo racing Nissan's in Super GT in the GT500 category. They're behind that pair of Kondo Racing is Team Le Mans. They race a Toyota.
And the back of that 5-car group is Harrison Newey.
The son of Adrian Newey, British driver.
And Harrison, decent little driver. He's LMP2, one LMP2 champion from last year, I believe it was, in the LMS. Or sorry, Asian Le Mans Series. And he was a runner-up, actually, with the Asian Le Mans Series.
Oh, and we got it off! It's Nakajima!
It's Nakajima!
Well,
And
he's just
capping
thrown it
off what has been a very, very difficult weekend.
Did you see the lights? He had the overtaking boost going into Degner, and he just dropped it. And he's beached it. And that could be another safety car. And let's have a look. Coming in. And, oh, he already lost it. The camera guys.
He's lost it in Degner 1. And it's a strange angle for the car to come in. So I wonder if he's actually just maybe got a tank slapper and someone else off as well.
Yeah, well, he's ever wheeled down or something. That's Harrison Newey. Yeah, that's Harrison Newey. We were just talking about him. Harrison Newey has gone off all on his own. Now, that I didn't see him in any...
And interestingly enough, these are the two drivers who collected at Spoon during qualifying yesterday. So
yeah,
both of them out.
Safety car it is, again.
So the way the angle of Nakajima's car went in, it looks as if he may have probably got a tank slapper in coming into Degner. And it's pulled him off to the left, but he's thoroughly beached. That again looks like two very separate incidents.
I think that was two separate accidents, and maybe Newey got distracted by the dust from Nakajima, but
that's quite not inconceivable actually, because it did, as you saw there when Nakajima went off, and really kicked a huge swell of dust into the air.
Well, this is going to be interesting to see the pit stop cycle. So here we go, coming through the pits there. That is one of the Team Ingen cars. I'm just waiting to see which car it is.
I think it's a Shira. That's a Shira.
With these halos, it's quite hard to see the driver's helmet. Now, that's one of the Red Bull cars behind. I think that's Lucas Auer. I can't quite see the front wing. Or is it Tictum again? It's Tictum. Tictum's in the pit, so they're making second stops. Here's that racing driver conversation.
What on earth were you doing?
Yes. And, if you're looking at the Ingen car, the trouble on that, look, it's got the red and the green light flashing on the roll hoop, which says to me that, and it's a very slow pit stop, so I think trouble for the Team Ingen car there as well. It's like nobody wants to win this race.
It's interesting to see what tyres Tictum actually comes out on again, actually.
I will tell you in a moment.
Yeah, that's not going anywhere.
No, that's not going well. Well, something that is going somewhere this year is Let's Go Racing. We're going to be streaming every single Super Formula race live and in full here on this channel, so don't forget to hit like and subscribe. We need like t-shirts and stuff like that on, don't we?
I need a t-shirt with your face on it, actually.
I think I need a t-shirt with your face on it, just saying like and subscribe, and just walk around Japan wearing them. Everyone will want them, won't they? Well, there you go. The Brilio sponsored, Project Mu sponsored car, but leading the race now. This is interesting. Kamui Kobayashi, only man not to pit. Is he going to change that now? No, he's not.
Well. I wonder if he's trying to string this out to one stop. I'm beginning to think more and more that this is a two-stop race now.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. It is a two-stop race, and well, the confirmation would be a whole bunch of cars diving for pit lane, but it's a little bit too soon for that.
But what I find interesting now is so many drivers have decided to stay on the soft tyres, and I think the Ingen car is getting refired. So, are the drivers possibly having trouble maybe getting enough heat into the medium tyres to actually make them work? Is a soft medium the best way to go in this race then?
Well, at some point you're going to have to use the medium, so you could soft, medium, soft, or medium, soft, or whichever combination.
As opposed to just having a long stint on the medium and potentially lose time for a longer part of the race.
I just noticed in the chat somebody called Rossiter is watching.
Was it Rossiter J?
Yeah, apparently you did some driving once. Well, the Honda NSX safety car is waiting for Kamui Kobayashi. I don't think this is going to be a particularly long safety car period, but nonetheless, in fact, his lights might already be out. Yeah, no, they're not.
What's probably made this safety car a little bit longer than normal is the fact that you have two cars off in the one area.
Snatch tractor.
And it's not like they've gone off together, so they're linked together. They're actually two separate parts of the corner.
Snatch tractor. It's just an excuse to say it, because I love saying that.
Yeah, Tictum came back out in softs, so...
Well, yeah, so it looks like it is going to be a two-stop race for a lot of these guys. We're not even at half distance, remember? So there is a lot of time and rubber to go. We're still learning what these new Dallara SF19s are like on track. The teams are learning them, and they're learning what the performance is going to be like. And these 650 brake horsepower Honda or Toyota engined cars are largely similar to, well, mechanically, other than the engine installations are the same as each other. They're not F1 cars, but they're nearly as fast as F1 cars. To answer some questions coming in.
It's an awful lot of power in those engines, and very, very, very impressive machinery.
So second safety car of the race, and they're already backing up the field, ready to go green again.
So Kobayashi needs another. He's got a really good early start there, taking Pelu with him.
This Pelu guy's quite good, isn't he?
He's been around for a while. He's won races in GP3 and Euro Formula Open. He's quite a talented young little Spaniard. But I think he's going to try and make a move very, very soon.
Well, look at the roll hoop. His lights flashing away. He's got the overtaking boost system. He's going to try and go around the outside of Kamui Kobayashi. And that's never going to be a good thing around Suzuka because Kobayashi is quite good round here, as Jensen Button might tell you. And sure enough, Kobayashi holds off this attack. And Pelu now doesn't have the overtaking system.
Ran wide.
Very, very wide in the exit of that second part.
Has he made it? No, he's got a problem.
Yeah,
he's got a problem.
Well.
Oh, that's so unfortunate for Alex Pelu.
And that
running
was just
so
as the
well.
overtaking system switched off. He suddenly lost drive. That's interesting.
And he's pulling off. He's near a marshal post, so he's actually just gone past the marshal post.
You have to remember also that the overtaking system on these cars is brand new for 2019. It's not the same system that they had in previous years. So is there an issue with that?
He's gone quite a way past the marshal post, I just noticed there, so this could potentially be another safety car.
Yeah, I wonder, because that's a difficult place to recover the car from.
Because the actual marshal post is on the other side.
Yeah. And there's no gate there. As you can see, those big sort of baseball netting things, because there's a big drop on the other side of the track there. I think that's the area that got washed away a few years ago in the Typhoon.
But absolute shame there for Alex Pelu, his first Super Formula race, and his car just pulling off to the side.
Well, someone who's going to appreciate that is Kamui Kobayashi, who's out on his own at the moment. Nick Cassidy up to second position. Great return for him. He was campaigning for a return of international television for Japanese motorsport. Well, here you go, Nick. Present for you. Let's see if you can make it. Naoki Yamamoto, who was, of course, struggling, last year's champion, and now back up to third position as a result of this. Well, it's all a bit spread out now because of that disruption, but still having their own private battle. Well, no, it's not. It's the Ingen car, sorry, on one of the Team Impel runners. I didn't spot which one it was, but they are having a lovely scrap there in Sector 1. And that is Nojiri and... Oh, it's Yamashita.
Kobayashi still leading this race, still not stopped. He's 2.3 seconds ahead of Nick Cassidy. Nick Cassidy, considering how much he was talking all the way from most of this weekend, how difficult the car was feeling, how little downforce it felt it had, how little balance it had, and he has found himself in a situation where he is in second place for the moment, but really waiting for Kobayashi to pit. Now, Kobayashi, if he is stringing this out to make it a one-stop strategy, and you know what, 19 laps into this 43-lap race is potentially working for him. It's a battle for the lead. The gap at the moment is 2.5 seconds that Kobayashi has over Cassidy.
This is Yamashita and Nojiri you're watching here. Nojiri in the Mugen car, and the Team Impel car is Yamashita, but Oshima from Team Le Mans, they run the Wacos car in Super GT, in third of this little pack we're watching. I think the Team Impel driver in the middle, Yamashita, would do well to look in his mirrors. And the safety car predictably comes out again. Well, that gives us a good opportunity to say thank you for the safety car driver, who hasn't joined this broadcast but has had, because he's been too busy driving the car. But those who have, P Rallyvideos, Ddogphace Morcane, Tom Porter, username is in use, Gaunt Pisces19, Bucktide, Ddogphace14, Devin Mitchell, Thomas Loiseau, Derek Lundie, WhalesTasteGreat, Gigi, sounds quite nice, 04554, and AJ Rottini.
Thomas Loiseau, he sounds like a fictional character from the Steve McQueen Le Mans film.
He is. He is.
Quite surprised it took quite a long time for that safety car to actually come out.
Yeah, they were the Killian Race Control. They were umming and ahhing about that one because how are we going to get rid of that car? You can't leave it there.
Because my first thought is Pelu went far too way past the actual marshal post for it to be retrieved. But
oh, is that another problem? Is that Cassidy trying to get up?
That was Kobayashi was very, very, very slow.
Yeah.
Behind the safety car, and he's actually bunched the entire field up to the point where they're almost going into the back of him, really.
It's a shame we don't have a live radio link to Nick Cassidy. We could try and arrange that for next race.
It'd just be beep, 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 beep.
Do you want a funny Suzuka fact?
Tell me.
Suzuka has a beach.
What, the gravel trap?
No, it's an actual beach, a sandy beach,
Yeah.
on the sea, like, and everything.
Like Sandford?
A little bit, yeah.
Never
Just
knew that.
few Dutch people.
So behind the safety car is, you can see the team director, Tsugo Matsuda.
I've seen him red more often than blue.
Team KCM. The Team KCMG, only one entry, and that is Kobayashi.
You have to remember Suzuki Matsuda, of course, drives for KCMG in the Blancpain Asia series, which is a series that you can watch online, apparently. Which apparently is heads being nodded that it may be on this channel.
Do you know, it's not inconceivable.
If you haven't watched the video, by the way, on Let's Go Racing, explaining what Let's Go Racing is, at the end of the race, hit like and subscribe and have a look at the video we've done to try and explain what Let's Go Racing actually is. Yeah, and I'm as clear as you are. It's a good channel which has got us on it, so subscribe.
This race may actually come relatively close to the 90-minute limit. It's probably going to come to about 85 minutes. We're into our third safety car. And what's interesting though, it's our third safety car. It's not a wet race. It's not as if the conditions are, well, they're challenging, obviously, the racing drivers, but it's not as if the conditions are such that the drivers are spinning off wildly in damp weather or anything like that. It is just a nature of the incidents that have actually occurred.
Yeah, exactly. And well, the safety car is pulling back the driver, so there you go. Kobayashi backing up into Nick Cassidy. Isn't that close? Then you've got Naoki Yamayoko, Makino in fourth, still Nojiri, Yamashita, Oshima, Tsuboi, Artem Markelov. Haven't spoken much about him. Top driver from F2, but down in ninth position. Yuji Kunimoto in 10th position. I think the safety car's coming in.
Markelov had an
Maybe
incident. Markelov had an incident in qualifying. Actually, meant he started last. He started last in this race. So we've had 6 retirements, 14 left in. Actually, no, sorry. There's now only 13 left in this race because Pelo is still classified, but he's actually going to come off the timing screen very shortly. Markelov running 9th out of 13 so far. So it's Kobayashi leading the race. Nick Cassidy currently in 2nd place. Number 1 is Naoki Yamamoto, reigning champion, running 3rd. In 4th place is Yuji Kunimoto for Kondo Racing. That's actually nice.
Well, quick thank you to Perfect Nerf for that. Very, very welcome. Dude Cash asked, what games have Super Formula? I think it's in the Gran Turismo. I've just uploaded a
Gran Turismo Sport.
Gran Turismo Sport?
Yeah.
I don't play very many computer games that don't involve blowing things up.
Well, you're too busy being a superhero.
James Guthrie has been pointing it out on the chat quite a bit, and he's absolutely right. With this safety car period, there is now the danger that we are going to go to time rather than to 43 laps. I think it's touch and go on 43 laps in the next 47 minutes. I don't think that's doable.
No, I know. I think we'll get in before the 90 minutes. It would require.
Well, at this rate, we won't. There'll be 6 more safety cars.
Well,
it's like watching
it would require another bunch of safety cars in the second half of the race, really, for that to work. But I still think
we still haven't got to halfway yet.
we're probably going to be hit maybe 85 minutes if it comes to green, as we see Kobayashi.
I don't know how he's managing to do that. Well, I was going to say I wasn't quite sure how he was able to do an interview because he's
superimposing
he's
himself actually.
That was slightly odd.
Sorry, yes. Pole man Makino is actually running in 4th place at the moment. I see Kobayashi giving an interview presumably earlier on this weekend.
No, he's just really talented.
Oh, well, that's incredible. 5th place is the Team Mugen car. It was Tomiki Nohira. And in 6th place is Kenta Yamashita in Kondo Racing Toyota.
Yeah, it's a very good point that someone's just pointed out. There are only 13 cars. There's a lot.
That was me that pointed out.
That was 7 cars out?
Yes.
Okay. See, I was listening. Thank you, Aiton Brackman. Listen, I was reading the chat, okay?
So I wonder if we're going to go green soon, because the safety car is now extending the gap from Kobayashi.
This is a surprisingly long safety car period, but Palu didn't leave the car in the most helpful position.
But it's not just that he missed the marshal post entry. He actually gone well around the corner, up the hill.
Yeah.
Because when he actually parked the car, it started to roll backwards.
Yeah, it's quite a steep hill there. I thought.
So they've actually had to bring out the truck to actually pick the car up and drop it onto the back of the tow truck.
Well, the Honda NSX has disappeared, which means we're about to go back to green racing. There's Kamoya Kobayashi. He's made a breakaway from Nick Cassidy. Nick Cassidy's realised he's hit the overtaking boost system to try and get back onto the back of the KCMG Dallara.
I think Cassidy's probably worried more about Yamamoto from behind. But that's a few times now. Kobayashi's actually sprinted away from Cassidy at this restart. As we go green, again, it's the beginning of lap 22 of 43. We're now pretty much at the halfway point in this race.
Well, you have to remember, despite what you're seeing on screen, which is this fantastic battle down there for 5th position, that is one of the Ingen cars going around the Team Impul cars, and that's the entire field. And there's 2 Red Bull cars together at the back, Tictum and Auer getting a run on Tictum. Tictum desperately chasing those much-needed super license points, but he's not going to do it down there.
Kunimoto running 10th place. The other driver still not to have pitted. He's on medium tyres.
Yeah.
That's not really worked out for him.
No, but the other thing is, I mean, that's the key point. Because Kamoya Kobayashi has not yet pitted, the real battle for the lead is Nick Cassidy versus Naoki Yamamoto. Where have we seen that before?
Of course, Yamamoto won the championship last year by a single point from Cassidy. Cassidy very much looking for revenge for that loss.
Well, there you go. It's
Oshiri there.
It's the usual. Wow. Well, they're doing the old Liddon Hill trick of kicking up a bit of dust to try and get into your rival's face, but pushing the line to the absolute limit. These guys are absolutely on it because they have to take every little millimetre of track because the cars are so evenly matched. And if you look at the difference between the Toyota and Honda cars, there doesn't seem to be much difference in the power. Now, there is open development in these engines. So they're, I think, 2 specs per year you're allowed in Super Formula. They can update them. Now, you see the red light on the top of the Ingen car. It means he's got less than 20 seconds of overtaking boost left, or none at all.
So I think the timing bar on the left there just needs to update itself, because I think Oshiri is past Kenta Yamashita.
Shima? No, I don't think so.
No, it's Yamashita's actually past Najiri.
Well,
and as we see, Oshiri's going to go for 6th place here around the outside. Not going to work there. Switch back to the inside. No, and
I quite like it.
Najiri actually holds him at bay. Very, very, very good defence there.
So this is a fuel flow limited formula, like Formula 1, like Super GT, like LMP1. And this overtaking boost system, what it does is it gives the engine a little bit more, a higher fuel flow rate, just for that limited amount of time. And I think it's much better than DRS, in my opinion. It gives the drivers a little, it just seems to be a bit more flexible and
it can be used as defence as well, as opposed to
yeah,
just attack, as we see Alex Palou there.
Doing well.
Didn't want to be there, and especially running as well as he was earlier on in this race. So it's a shame for Alex Palou. He's driven very, very well this weekend and made a very good account of himself.
Well, thank you very much, Jonathan Sheeran, for that.
But I really wish we'd actually switched to the action on track.
Yeah.
So Sheeran still chasing down Najiri, but he has So Shoeboy just behind him, 8th place, the reigning Japanese Formula 3 champion. And so Shoeboy actually dominated that category quite a bit.
He was very, very strong in there. But it could be the final, 2019 could be the final year for Japanese Formula 3. The series runs to the old regulations with the big air restrictor, not the F3 regional regulations. There is a new Formula 3 championship running to the F3 regional regulations starting in 2020 with all dome chassis and a dome engine for the first time. Interesting departure for that company. But here we look at the battle for 7th and 8th. Shima and Shosuboy, as we've been talking about. I wouldn't really call that the battle for 7th and 8th. It's just sort of the battle for 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th. Fukuzumi's not all that far away, and Tictum and the 2 Red Bull cars, well, they're fading a bit at the back, aren't they?
As it stands at the moment, if Kobayashi was to pit now, it would definitely drop him to the rear of the field. The gap is, he needs another 15 seconds to actually make a pit stop and come out ahead of Kunimoto. Kunimoto's actually dropped to 13th now, to drop to Kunimoto at the end of the field.
Now we're looking at Makino and Yamashita there, and that is, well, it's about 4th and 5th. There is, that's actually the second closest battle on track at the moment. The biggest scrap is for 6th position, as we hear from Masahiko Kondo about something.
The interesting thing about Kunimoto's strategy is really not worked for him, because he still has not actually pitted. He's still on the medium tyres which he started the race. He has actually dropped him down to last place now, as both Tictum and Auer have actually got past him, so that really hasn't worked for him on this occasion, as we watch Makino and Yamashita battling over 4th and 5th at the moment. As I said, that will become a battle for 3rd and 4th once Kobayashi pits, but that's actually dependent as well. Are these guys going to pit again as well? There's still 18 laps left in this race.
I think they've all, I think Makino doesn't.
Makino may not. Yamashita, I think, will. Makino being on the medium tyre.
So Makino's actually in good place.
He's in a very good place. Pole sitter may be dialing himself back into a race win. And he's actually been helped very much in this situation by the safety cars, because it's ensured that the drivers on the soft tyres have not actually been able to extend the gap and get away from Makino. So once they actually pit again, should they actually pit again, Makino should just raise himself to the top of the order.
Well, the man in trouble is Kamui Kobayashi, leading the race by 4.1 seconds, but owes everybody a pit stop. However, if everybody has to pit one more time,
he's still in good stead.
He's in very good stead. But
and this has been a startling drive, actually, by Kobayashi so far. He's really making those soft tyres last. Very, very, very intelligent driving.
Well, he's got a bit of experience in him.
There's Kobayashi there on screen now, leading the race, gap 4.1 seconds to Nick Cassidy. And I'm surprised, really, Nick Cassidy isn't pushing much higher. He is in the early 33s at the moment. And it's possible that inherent lack of downforce may still be there. We can't ignore that safety cars have played quite a bit into the strategies and the order of this race so far.
I mean, looking at the current lap times, Cassidy is quicker than everybody behind him, but slower than the car in front, which sounds very obvious when you say it like that.
Which is not necessarily the Makino in 4th place. I think has been held up to a degree by. I think he's running.
No, he's not being held up. He's actually.
But he's just running in the 44, so his pace isn't great at the moment.
Makino, he's trying to keep those tyres alive as Lucas Auer and Dan Ticktum fight for a fairly irrelevant
11th and 12th place.
Position. Yeah.
But that works actually for Cassidy and Yamamoto as well, because that allows them to extend a bit of a gap while Makino is trying to make his tyres last. Now, 2 Red Bull livery drivers.
Ticktum is obviously a driver who Red Bull think, and he certainly thinks, is heading to Formula 1, and this is a series that scores super license points. However, Ticktum, as we've all read and heard about, had a few issues getting super license points in the previous years, which prevented him getting a Toro Rosso drive for 2019. Now the super license regulation points have changed, which means that you can only score points from a single championship. Ticktum didn't realise this when he entered the 2019 Toyota Racing Series somewhere in Australasia.
New Zealand.
It was at New Zealand, there you go. And those points won't count towards his super licence tally because this series has a higher point score.
He also raced in Asian F3, or I think one of the Asian F3 categories, and it turned out that they did not have the stipulations to actually offer super licence points.
Well, a quick thank you before we talk about this battle between Makino and Yamashita, which I think is about to get spicy because Yamashita's on the soft tyre. Thank you to Skyline GTR, nice name, where you got that one from, and Perfect Nerf as well. He said, do we have any interest in IndyCar? And what do we think? I actually haven't watched IndyCar for quite a long time, but Yamashita is on that run into turn 1. He's got the overtaking system going, but defending with the overtaking system On the inside, yeah, that's not going to work there. But can he cut back round? No, he can't, because the next corner is a left-hander. I don't think they did quite touch.
Makino got the bit of a tank slapper on there, and it almost cost him more time. But unfortunately, I think Yamashita actually had to lift off slightly to prevent him knocking right into the rear of the pole sitter. In this battle for 4th and 5th place as it stands at the moment.
Well, just a few questions coming in about the engines. They are 4-cylinder turbocharged engines with direct injections, purpose-built racing engines, but you can buy the Toyota if you want to.
16 laps left in this race. Kobayashi, by the way, has extended his gap to 6.1 seconds. So this is a strategy, as it stands at the moment, is working out reasonably well for him. But there's still a lot of strategy. There's still a lot of strategy, I think, to reveal itself in this race.
Yeah, I mean, he's still got to stop, and Cassidy doesn't. The one thing I thought with this series, I was thinking it might be a bit like a Formula 2 race where it's a bit, well, there you go. But this is totally different. This is much more like...
And off! It's an off, and it's Makino. It's Makino into the wall, into the barrier. That was either suspension or a right front tyre went down, but that wobbled very, very suddenly, and he's gone straight into the barrier.
I mean, he should have full... And it's a pretty big hit he had there. Look,
I think it pulled a wheel off, or a tyre off at least. So it goes into Spoon, and then...
Oh, right rear.
Rear.
Something failed on the right rear. There's a whole load of... I think there was a right rear upright or suspension failure, and you saw that smoke coming out of the right rear tyre.
And I also think it's taking... Yes, no, the wheel's off completely.
Yeah, that's unusual to see. So is it a wheel nut failure or something like that?
Straight into a barrier, and I think that's going to be a fourth safety car.
Definitely going to be a safety car there. Yeah, there you go.
Fourth safety car.
Well.
So now 15 laps remaining in this race. Is this now the time to stop?
Well, is everybody going to stop? I think we could see the entire field head to pit lane, and that's going to be interesting to be that double stacking again. Who does that favour? That favours Kamui Kobayashi, who's going to go onto that medium tyre because he's got to. Though it does look like he's gone past the stripe this time by. I'm just watching, because we're watching what's on the screen. I'm watching the pits.
I will add to that, the car in 5th place at the moment, Nojiri, is on medium tyres, has already stopped. So if you're in that position, do you chance it?
Yes. Well, like and subscribe to this rather exciting race. And this Let's Go Racing has come into being with a rather exciting motor race. And hopefully we are going to bring you a lot more Super Formula and some other stuff. There's Kamui Kobayashi. And we've got a Twitter account, which is called @GoRacingTweets. It's only just started, but there's going to be a lot of stuff on there as the season develops. So do keep posted on that. Not just so you can get your local area times for the different races we're broadcasting from around the world.
And it may or may not be manned by Sam.
No, it's not. It's not actually manned by me. Now, this is interesting. Kobayashi's pit crew came out onto pit lane and then went back again. As you can see, no tyre warmers in Super Formula. The same way it's going to be in Formula 1 in a few years' time. And
which is a really good strategy, actually. I quite like that.
And we've got... So I'm not quite sure how our producer is managing to get the screens he's getting on the other side of our studio here, but we now have the race control information, which is great. Don't really know how he's done that.
So it's Kunimoto is actually just coming to the pits as he's down in 12th place. Only 12 drivers running.
Yeah. So that's down to 12 running, and I don't think all 12 are going to make it to the finish, frankly.
And of course, Kunimoto, this is actually his first stop. He's been on medium tyres for the entire distance so far, and it's a strategy really that hasn't... Well, actually, you know what? Pitting on a safety car, this is a strategy that could actually work.
It could work very, very well indeed. New tyres coming out. He's going to be at the back of the pack, of course, but I think there's a bunch of cars in front of him that I think are going to stop again. Well, we know Kobayashi has to stop, and he hasn't done it yet.
I think
Tictum is now in 10th position, so he can move up through the field as well. And
it's a very winded
Makino,
I think, and disappointed. Bear in mind that he was the pole position driver, so
he'll feel that in the morning, won't he? Is that just disappointment, or is that...
I think it's both. I think it's both. Mixture disappointment and winded. So, as we're under safety car, Kobayashi leading this race. Nick Cassidy in 2nd place for the Team Tom's Toyota car. Third place is the reigning champion, Naoki Yamamoto for Team Dandelion. Fourth place is the number 3 car for Kondo Racing. That's Kenta Yamashita. In fifth place is number 16 machine for Team Mugen. That's Tomoki Noshira. And in sixth place, it's Oshira. That's in the Team Le Mans car. In seventh place is Tsuboi.
That is the desolation of a racing driver, isn't it? Right there. We should really be laughing at him. But,
yeah, I think he's probably just winded.
No. He was just strolling across, looking very disappointed with life.
Seventh place, Sho Tsuboi, reigning Japanese Formula 3 champion. Eighth place, Artem Markelov, the former GP2 and Formula 2 race winner. Actually, Artem Markelov, little nugget for you, finished runner-up in GP2 or F2 a couple of years ago. Second place only to Charles Leclerc.
I've just spotted Sarah. Sarah's here. Hello, Sarah.
Ninth place is Nurei. Yes, it is Nurei Fukuzumi for the Team Dandelion car. 10th place, Dan Tictum in the Team Mugen Honda car. 11th place, his Red Bull stablemate, but not teammate. It's Lucas Auer, the number 15 B-Max by Motorpark Honda. And running last, having just pitted, Yuji Kunimoto for Kondo Racing. He has moved onto the soft tyres now. That is going to be his only stop. So we know that for certain, I think.
Yeah, I'm fascinated to see how these strategies are going to play out now, because...
Now, see, the other aspect of this is our fourth safety car. There's now only 14 laps left. And most of the drivers, there's 11 of the 12 are on soft tyres. So how many... And of course, Kobayashi hasn't pitted yet, so he still has to go onto the mediums.
Yeah.
And I think there may be one or two others who still have to go onto the mediums. So even on the soft tyres, you think there's going to be drivers who might try and risk it to the end.
Well, and I think some of those who've had the softs on for a long time might be switching from a 2-stop to a 1-stop, and that's going to give them an advantage. But we could actually see it's going to be quite difficult in tyre life. I mean, look at the right front there of Sho Tsuboi on the soft tyre. You can see the degradation on the inner edge of that right front tyre. There's a very clear line on the tyre. Unfortunately, I'm looking at a different car, but there you can see it quite clearly.
Yes.
And I don't think that's a mould mark. That is wear and that is damage. And obviously, Suzuka is extremely hard on tyres. One of the hardest tracks in the world with this long, particularly Sector 1, with this, well, we call it the snake. It does actually have different names, some of the snake corners.
Really?
Yeah, so there's a map I saw at Suzuka's train station, or Shiroko train station once, that has all the proper corner names on. And it's the only place I've ever seen them all listed. They're probably on Racing Circuits info because Neil, who runs that.
I wonder who writes for that.
I don't very much anymore, but Neil who runs it, seems to know everything about racetracks. So. There you go. Well, Super Formula, round 1. More laps led by a Honda NSX than any other Honda engine car, actually, in this race so far. It's been a bit of a Toyota dominated, well, I wouldn't say dominated because it hasn't, but it's been the Nakajima racing cars from Honda, which are both Honda powered, led the early running, and then it just all sort of collapsed for them, really.
I think they didn't seem to be that strong on the medium tyres. But as we may be about to get going again soon.
Yes. Well, you are watching Super Formula on the 2019. You are watching the 2019 Super Formula Series live and in full on Let's Go Racing. We'll be bringing you every single race of the year from Super Formula, and we will be bringing you a whole load more live racing action from different championships. He's still to be announced, and we're going to have a whole load of extra content coming up as well. Loads of behind-the-scenes stuff, on-board videos, really good stuff coming up on Let's Go Racing. So don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Follow us on Twitter at Go Racing Tweets.
Have you liked and subscribed yet?
I have, of course. I was the first. I think I was the first person to do it. Have you?
Yes.
Ask yourself if you're watching this. Have you hit like and subscribe?
So yes, I think we're about to go racing again. 13 laps left, less than 26 minutes on the clock. Actually, you know what? This is going to come pretty close to the clock. It is going to be around 87, 88 minutes thanks to this fourth safety car. I think if we have another safety car after this, that's when we'll probably run out of time.
To be honest, at the current rate of safety cars, we'll have about 3 more before the end of the race. There's
only 12 cars left.
It's only 12 cars and it's lap 30. It's 43 and we've had how many safeties in number 4? Oh, I think we'll get a 5th safety car.
Now, Kobayashi's had some very, very good restarts so far. Actually thinking maybe... No, this is going to go for another lap, isn't it?
Somebody's roll hoop lights aren't working. I couldn't quite see who that was. I was just looking because it's unfortunate. The guys at the back of the field
It's another lap, yeah.
have got the red lights on the roll hoop, meaning they haven't got very much boost left.
Of course it is, because the truck is still on the...
Yeah. Yeah, no minivans so far. Jensen Button might want to race in this series after all. I have actually wondered why Benson Chutton hasn't had a go in one of these yet. I know he's looking after his pregnant other half and has pulled out of the Le Mans 24 Hours for that reason.
Is that the reason?
Yeah, well, that and he couldn't beat the Toyotas. Yeah, so looking back, that is the Mugen liveried car with the Motul livery, so that really cool livery. His overtaking system lights on the roll hoop are not working. If you can see, every other car's got a green or red light on top of the roll hoop, but
yes.
the Mugen car in 5th position has no lights on at all. And I'm beginning to wonder, is there an issue with this overtaking system? Not sure. We don't know the reason for the retirements we've seen so far. Oh, he's definitely had enough.
Yeah, that is disappointment.
I've had mornings like that.
That's a properly bashed that car, the right-hand side of that car. He's mostly knocked the right front off as well. So with that truck going and probably going straight to the pit lane, I'm pretty certain this has to be the last.
There's an Irishman emoji I've just spotted on the chat.
All right.
Jonathan Sheeran just did the Irishman emoji.
Oh, hello.
You don't need to put an accent on. He's actually from South London.
Anyway, Kamui Kobayashi is leading this race from Nick Cassidy. And Naoki Yamamoto's running 3rd.
I do love the name Dandelion Racing. I'd love to be in the meeting where they came up with that.
I keep expecting a large flower on the side of the gun.
They're not that big, dandelions. Apparently you can make soup from them, though.
Really?
Have you ever had dandelion soup?
No.
Oh, well, we've got some new members to say thank you to. Nolan Dillon, Joe Quirk, good name, GPA 95, Callan Johnston, DYR Max, and Robbie G. Well, the lights are still on the safety car, but he's not that hot on switching him off in time, is he?
Well, he's only coming around Spoon now.
And he's on his own, look.
I think now he's just switched them off now.
They must have get the radio message.
And we're on 979 likes. 988 now. Can we get to 1,000?
Yeah, smash that like, Jutton. Well, somebody in the middle of the field. It is the Motul-sponsored car from Team Mugen, Nojiri, has left a big old gap in the middle of the field there. And, Kobayashi's weaving his tyres, trying to put Cassidy off. Cassidy has got... It seems to be the story of Cassidy's life. Naoki Yamamoto right up close. There's 2 Red Bull cars, and at the back of the field, last man running, it's Yuji Kinomoto.
Kobayashi's going. He has to go now because there is only 22 minutes left in this race. I think we're now getting very, very close to the point where drivers will just probably wing it and just keep to the one-stop strategy if they've done all of their mandatory tyre stints.
Well, that's the thing. Kobayashi hasn't done so. They came out, but it looks like, I don't know, is he having an argument with his picture or something?
I think they've made a mistake by not pitting during that last safety car.
And now just getting a run down the back of the field. He's got his boost on, making a move round Nojiri is Oshima from the Team Le Mans car. He's got a Toyota engine against that Honda engine car. Does Nojiri have a problem with his overtaking system? I think he might.
Possibly. As I see Oshiri there in 6th place. He's battling with Su Shuboy and Markelov just behind. And meanwhile, Kobayashi has streaked out in the lead, and he has to. He really, really, really needs to get away from Cassidy very, very quickly. Cassidy almost looks a a little bit more relaxed about it? I think is there knowledge? Are they just waiting for Kobayashi to pit, knowing that he can go right to the end?
He will know on the radio that Kobayashi has to stop again.
So he doesn't have to push his tyres so hard. He just needs to keep Yamamoto behind.
So if he can, and with these safety car periods, it's allowed them to keep their tyres alive a little bit longer. So I think Cassidy should be okay to go to the end. It's only 11 laps to go, so at this rate there'll be 2 more safety car periods to get through. So
Kobayashi leads from Cassidy. Yamamoto in 3rd place. Kenta Yamashita in 4th place at the moment. In his Kondo Racing Toyota car. Nojiri 5th place. He's the only driver running at the moment on mediums.
Right, let's have a listen to these cars because they sound spectacular. Turn up the noise.
There's Oshiri. He's going to make a move on Nojiri for 5th place. Oshiri on the soft tyres. Will he try around the outside? He does. Can he keep it in? He's going. He's still there. Just held off slightly, but that was a wonderful attempt at a move for Oshiri there. Very, very, very brave. But now he's got Shoeboy right behind him. Nojiri ran him out wide as Markelov has just pitted.
I was about to say Markelov's disappeared from this series a little bit, and there he is. He's down the back because he has had to make another pit stop. Now, that's a strange time for Markelov to pit as well, so I wonder if that's for a problem rather than did he pick up a puncture or something along the way. We haven't seen any failures from these Yokohamas at all, actually.
Oshiri lost a little bit of time actually in that first corner when he ran out wide, or was run wide really by Nojiri. As you can see the gap on screen there between Oshima and Tsuboi is just a couple of tenths really. So Kobayashi leads, he's 1.7 seconds ahead of Cassidy out front.
It's not enough. We have to keep reminding you that Kobayashi has to stop. The battle now for the lead is between Nick Cassidy and Naoki Yamamoto. We're not seeing that on camera because the Red Bull guys, both on red, they both run out of boosts. I think that was Lucas Auer using the end of his boost to try and get past Dan Ticktum. Ticktum is the one in front. Lucas Auer.
Just behind them is Kunimoto.
And despite the paint jobs, they're not teammates. It's very confusing. And then into the tow between, it's a double tow from the 2 Red Bull cars. That is, well, it's not Artem Markelov, is it? It's Yuji Kunimoto. Markelov is somewhere on the other side of the track. Ah, well, yeah, Cassidy is absolutely on it with a new personal best lap record, so he's pushing now, as is Kenta Yamashita. They're both pushing now. It's Yamashita. He is sitting in 4th position, trying to get onto terms with Naoki Yamamoto. Nick Cassidy, though, trying to get away from Naoki Yamamoto. So it's all about Yamamoto at the moment. Got faster cars in front of him and faster cars behind him. And we're watching the cars that aren't so fast. It's a
battle for 10th, 11th and 12th at the moment. Or sorry, 9th, 10th and 11th. Minor points, and our is past.
10th and 11th because Lucas Auer has gone. There he goes. And it looks like Ticktum's about to...
looks like he's struggling a little bit.
He's been struggling all weekend by the look of this, and I'm not quite sure why. We'll probably have to find out after the race. We'll update you on @GoRacing tweets. We will feed you back anything we hear from the Red Bull driver about any issues he's had. And obviously, some of the issues with the debut of the SF19, but look at this. See now the green.
Ticktum's down into 45s now. He's losing seconds compared to some of the drivers ahead of him.
And he's used up all of his overtaking boost, whereas without overtaking boost, they're taking candy from a baby. Yeah, Ticktum's not happy in that car.
Have his tyres actually gone?
Well, I wonder. He's just falling away. I mean,
because he changed onto softs in one of the safety car periods. I think it was second safety car period earlier in this race. Has another go.
And now I've worked out so the roll hoop lights disappear when there's no charge left in the overtaking system. I was told they didn't disappear completely, they just went on to red. No, they have got... So he's just used up his last amount to try and get back onto terms there with Kunimoto, but Kunimoto's still on green, so Kunimoto's got loads of boost left.
Someone had a little bit of an off there and regained. There was a dust kicked up in the air. Someone must have dropped their left rear car onto the dirt.
Quite a few drivers have been doing that here. Very dry and hot at Suzuka today. Looks like a nice day, actually. Let's go to the beach.
So we're looking at Kunimoto there, 10th place. The Kondo Racing Toyota powered car. Now back to the race leader. This is Kamui Kobayashi. He has got 3 seconds over Nick Cassidy at this time. Still yet to pit.
Yeah, it's Oshima. Yeah, don't say Oshiri. That's a rude word. Kobayashi there.
3 seconds. Kobayashi 3 seconds ahead of Nick Cassidy. Now Kobayashi still has to pit. He still has to make his mandatory pit stop. The others just behind him have only pitted once, but we're now at the stage of the race. Only 7 laps remaining, only 15 laps to go. I think if you're in that pack now, you're not going to pit again. This is going to be a race right to the end.
Well, unless you're Kamui Kobayashi, who's got to pit. I mean, Yamamoto, I think, he's on the soft tyres with that Honda engine car, and his pace is okay, but is he the only thing stopping it being an all-Toyota podium? Najiri is a little way off now, the back of Kenta Yamashita, and he is being chased by quite hard there by Oshima.
Najiri's still on the medium tyres as well. We could have wondered earlier on whether there was an issue of getting heat into the medium tyres, because the pace on them did look somewhat weaker compared to the softer tyres, which is natural enough, but they were losing a lot more time than expected.
Yeah, I mean, it's a real voyage into the unknown. The new, Yokohama obviously have changed the tyres slightly for 2019. Completely new chassis. The Toyotas are running on a completely new engine. And there's about half the field, 8 drivers are rookies this year.
Yes, 8 drivers are rookies this year.
So it's really been a voyage of discovery, not just for Let's Go Racing, but also for Super Formula. And well, I think it's been quite good. I mean, I know there's been quite a few retirements, some crashes, some reliability issues, but with still quite a few laps to go. This has been quite exciting.
Very, very, very interesting races. We're looking again at the battle between Fukuzumi now in 8th place, ahead of just Lucas Auer and Kunimoto as 8th, 9th and 10th. Just there, and just ahead of that trio is Sho Suboi, which it may not mean an awful lot, but Sho Suboi has made the most positions in this race so far, which is 11, but considering there's only 12 cars actually running at the moment, that's probably not the most meaningful statistic in the world. Nick Cassidy, by the way, he's gained 10th position, 10 positions from where he started in the race.
Yeah, it's been, I mean, that was partly down to pit stops, but that's good strategy as well.
He gained a lot in that first safety car period, the pit stops from that first safety car period. He's a bit out on his own at the moment. He's 5 seconds behind Kobayashi at the moment, but he's got a 2-second gap over Yamamoto. So
Yamamoto is having to be really quite defensive, because he's got Yamashita right there now, and Yamashita's closed up quite a lot in the last few laps.
Yamashita's very, very racy at the moment.
Yeah, and Cassidy's driving away from Yamamoto. And Yamamoto is Honda's last chance of getting a Honda engine car on the podium. There is Cassidy, who is essentially the race leader now. And it depends.
So I'm assuming Kobayashi, they're going to leave this as late as absolutely possible, which would be lap 42, the end of lap 42.
Well, yeah, I was just wondering, could you change the tyres? Could you go into the pits to change the tyre over the... I was trying to remember where the start-finish line is at Suzuka, and it's before the garages, so that wouldn't be allowed.
No, and I believe that was quite reminiscent of an incident in the British Grand Prix about 20-odd years ago. Michael Schumacher.
That German fella.
Yes.
Of course, who used to race in this series. Did one race at Sportsland Sugo. I can tell you what, I'm really looking forward to seeing these cars race at Sugo.
That will be absolutely fantastic. It's been fantastic to watch this as we see Auer and Kunimoto have gotten past Fukuzumi for 8th, 9th and 10th. And there's Auer, and it's Kunimoto's actually got past Auer as well.
For now.
So he's got taken another place. A very, very, very good move there by Kunimoto in the Kondo racing car.
He's got an awful long way to go before he gets into the big points. Something out of the pits there is...
That's Fukuzumi. That's Fukuzumi. He's just...
Yes, it is. I keep on forgetting we have a big screen with every single piece of information in the world on it.
He's still on a soft tyre, so I don't know if that was a drive-through or whether he's actually changed onto fresh softs. And I'm beginning to wonder, maybe that is a change from fresh softs.
And I'm just going back to Alex Palou's retirement. It's even what made it even more strange because he'd actually set the fastest sector of anybody in the race, even to now, just before the car broke.
Oh yes, he had.
Yeah, and I think that's the second sector. Oddly, in Super Formula, the track split into 4 sectors, not 3 like everyone else does. I don't quite know why that is, and it's just the way it is. So we can't do direct comparisons between sector times between F1 and Super Formula.
And that is an interesting situation there for Kazumi, because he was running relatively low down the order at the moment, changed onto soft tyres. Now, partially probably banking on that maybe others their tyres will either collapse completely.
What, in the next 4 laps?
Unlikely. They're holding up relatively well, but they are dropping very much into the 45s and 44s. And some of the cars on the older tyres. Lucas Auer, very much the slowest driver on the car on the track at the moment, losing so much pace.
Mia Kobayashi though, 42.3 his last lap. He's clearly the fastest guy out on the track.
And he's managed his tyres so very, very well.
He's still on the soft tyres he started the race with, which obviously means he has to stop. But
here he is on screen again. The gap now to Cassidy, 6.3 seconds. Cassidy with a 3.1 second gap over Yamamoto. This is going to be a pit stop right at the end of the penultimate lap.
But it's still not enough. From 6 seconds, he'll still lose it. Yeah,
it'll drop him down to 10th, so he'll end up with a point.
And so what he's really trying to do now is racing Lucas Auer and Yuji Kunimoto.
But then again, his pace over Lucas Auer, he's got 2 seconds a lap on Auer at the moment, 2 to 3 seconds a lap on Auer.
Yeah.
Tinktum has been held up as a result, to a degree, as a result of that. And Kobayashi's pace at the moment, he's only half a second down on his absolute fastest lap.
Not even. His last lap was a 42.0. It's not on the screen yet, but it was. And yeah, it's just two tenths of a second off his fastest pace of the race. I mean, he's absolutely flying.
If Auer's pace continues to drop off as it is, it may be touch and go that Kobayashi could still nab maybe 8th position out of this.
Yeah, I think so too. Sho Suboi maybe a little bit too far down the road, but there's Nick Cassidy out on his own. That this is the battle we think now for second in the race between
Yamamoto and Kenta Yamashita.
It is, yeah. Now Yamashita seems to have the pace on Yamamoto, but that is not clear.
I think Yamamoto's very much driving defensively at the moment. Yamashita's not in his. He doesn't seem to be able to get a run on Yamamoto for third place as it stands at the moment.
Welcome, Corey Jott.
Are running very much in the early to mid 1 minute 43s. Half a second between them. Yamashita really needs to push hard, really needs to pressurize Yamamoto into a mistake, but he's not actually close enough to do that at the moment. He's close enough to be seen in Yamamoto's mirrors, but that's about it.
Yeah, it's going to be...
It'll need something more. He needs something more.
He's got a little bit of time to do it. 3 laps to go.
We are actually going to get to the 43 laps, probably with about 2 or 3 minutes to spare.
Both of these cars have still got quite a chunk of overtaking boost to use, so I think they're saving that for the final lap to try and stop the other car defending. So I think you're going to see some fireworks between these two as the cars come up to the stripe. You're also going to see a good battle for 5th and 6th between Oshima and Nojiri. And Sho Suboi as well is going to have to do well to defend from Yuji Kunimoto, who's right on his tail. But Kunimoto there has used up most of his overtaking boost, and so Superboy there has got a little bit more.
Interestingly enough, in that battle further down the field, Tinktum is chasing Hour. Tinktum's actually just, and as you see, it's actually Yamashita right on the tail of Yamamoto coming into turn 1 there. Still not enough, but he's pressing very, very hard now.
He used his overtake boost, but I have to say Yamamoto used his to defend. So it might be down to who's used a bit more of it. They're both still in the green. They've both still got a good chunk of it yet left to go with that 100 seconds of extra fuel flow. See, I think Formula 1 should introduce this extra fuel flow boost to get the performance in, because it's a much better system than that silly DRS thing they have. Right.
And here is Cassidy in front there.
Yeah.
Yamamoto defends, and Yamashita trying to get a draft. Can't quite get past Yamamoto as he defends coming into turn 1. Remember, if you're liking this action, do subscribe and like the Let's Go Racing YouTube channel, and tweet at Go Racing.
Go Racing Tweets.
Go Racing Tweets.
Our producer's trying to communicate with us when we're failing to get what he's trying to tell us. I'm just going to look at roll hoop lights, because that's crucial between these two, because you can see that they're both still trying to use that overtaking system.
Look how even they are in the sectors in this circuit. Yamamoto has a little bit of advantage in sector 1, but I think that was probably more to do with the way he held Yamashita off. But through the rest of the lap, they're very, very, very much together. Yamashita's too far behind this time around. He only has one more chance left. And I think at the end of this lap, we will see Kobayashi come into the pit.
I think we're going to have to, because I was just looking at it. We have to see Kobayashi pit. And yes, we are, yeah.
And I think he may have actually done enough to get Hour. The gap to Hour is 24 and a half seconds.
Well, that is a very brave strategy. Only the top 8 score points, thanks to RJ O'Connell for pointing this out. So that is absolutely what Kobayashi is pushing for, and that's why he's going so hard, so fast.
This would get him 8th place if he can get out ahead of Lucas Hour.
Now, he's still on green. I could see him coming out of the pits with his finger just firmly jammed on the overtake system for the final lap and just have a superpower. Just tape it down in the pit stop. Look at that battle for 3rd and 4th, which we now know is now the battle for 2nd and 3rd, and it's absolutely to the wall. Great day for Nick Cassidy. He certainly didn't expect that. Let's see how Champagne Spain has improved.
And he has dropped 11 seconds behind Kobayashi, but he's done a very, very good job to actually make his tyres last. It did look for a while it would be a 2-stop race, but the 4 safety cars we've had have really levelled out the tyre wear throughout this race.
And in comes the race leader, Kamui Kobayashi, into the pits. At the start of the final lap. So he ain't going to win. It's a question for Kobayashi. Will he be able to get out into 8th position and get any points from what has been a superb drive, quite frankly?
He's made those soft tyres last 42 laps. It's
incredible.
Been an excellent job, and Cassidy has just gone past, I believe.
Look at that big sort of positioning sort of box they've put on for him. And I love this jumping
really
over.
Doing the acrobatics over the...
I think F1 needs to see something like the gymnastics these guys are doing. It's pretty good. But now Kobayashi's done a great job, but it's on the final lap and he's out of contention. Very much in contention are none of those cars on the screen right now. We need to be seeing the battle for 2nd position between Naoki Yamamoto and Kenta Yamashita. They're crossing the stripe 4/10 of the second apart.
He's out behind Tinktum, so it hasn't worked on this occasion. It's just a few seconds. If it hadn't been for that 4th safety car, it may well have worked, but he's just fallen short. Nick Cassidy now leading the race.
He's going to be absolutely ecstatic.
He's going to be surprised.
He's going to be. How did I win this?
But he's had a lot of balance issues throughout this race weekend. Struggled a bit in qualifying. Only actually qualified 12th. But he's made his pace last. He's made his pace work. He's made his tyres work.
It's just been, the strategy works. And going into this race,
and to be fair, he gained a lot of positions in one of the in one of the safety cars as well. I think it was a safety car where they all piled into the pits at the same time. He made a few positions there, but once he's been out there, he has made his strategy work.
But it's not done yet. Look, because he seems to be slowing down, and the cars behind him are catching.
Cassidy actually in the
it's too late to change anything, but on this run down to 1:30 for the final time, the battle between Yamashita And Yamamoto is fully raging. Is Yamashita going to have a run into the final corner? My timing screen just broke and died. I don't think he's going to.
And then Cassidy comes out the final corner, takes the checkered flag, and takes the first win of the 2019 Super Formula season. Naoki Yamamoto takes second place. Kenta Yamashita takes third. Fantastic drives from the top three there.
Nojiri fourth, Oshima fifth, Shrey Suboi comes in sixth, Yuji Kunimoto seventh, Lucas Awa eighth, Dan Tickerton in ninth position. Kumiya Kobayashi, he's got to be disappointed with 10th position. And Artem Markelov, who we barely saw in this race, comes in 11th position.
Kobayashi eventually coming home in 10th place overall. Well, Markelov 11th, Fukuzumi finishes 12th, and that's it. 12 runners at the end of this race. But what a drive by Nick Cassidy there. As I said, lots of issues throughout this race weekend. Really made it work in the end.
So, look, talking to you at home and you on the chat, what did you think? First time out for Super Formula on YouTube and the first time out for live racing for Let's Go Racing. Did you enjoy it? Because I certainly did.
That was great fun, actually. Great fun. Surprising amount of incidents. But you know what? It really helped turn this race and tick it over.
Well, stay with us. We're going to have the podium ceremony, which I should point out at this point, I've never watched the Super Formula podium before, so it could be interesting. We're hoping to get you an interview with Nick Cassidy live from SUZUKA, so stay tuned for that. And we will bring you some post-race analysis and some post-race chat, and we'll go through some of your comments as well, you all seem to have a WhatsApp group that you're all talking to each other on, and I don't have that.
You don't do technology, Sam.
I don't. I write about it. Don't do it. Well, I'm thoroughly impressed with Super Formula and the SF19. The car clearly races well. The overtaking is good. The overtaking system, when it works, is fantastic.
But I think what was very impressive is with the overtaking system, the amount of attempts to go around the outside in turn one. Drivers were not feeling shy in any way, shape or form there.
And I think, yeah, I mean, it's got all the good things. It's got all that good overtaking action that we're getting used to from Super GT, and it's Japanese racing at its best. I think this is
Cassidy's enjoying this slowdown lap.
Oh, he really is enjoying this.
Is.
I think we're going to see a very happy Chappie when he gets out of the car. I feel sorry for Jan Mardenborough. He'll be insufferable when he gets home. Though he won't be home tonight, unless he gets the last Shinkansen from Nagoya back to Shinagawa. You can take the train direct from the track at SUZUKA, but it's always very crowded, so I always prefer to take it from Shiroko Station.
He'll probably miss the train anyway. He'll still be trying to open the bottle of champagne.
Well, we've got amazing praise there from Seitawan Putra Hindratno, quite a name, saying, well, it's more exciting than recent F1. Well, so was the glass of water I drank compared to the last Grand Prix. Though Formula 1 has had some good races recently, I must say. The first two races of the year were brilliant in F1. It's going to be very interesting. I'd love to see this series have a support race ahead of the Japanese Grand Prix at SUZUKA, so more people got to see what I think is going to be some brilliant racing this year. We've got a whole bunch more races coming up for you this year, all the Super Formula races. I'm really looking forward to some of the races in this chat. Well, all of them, obviously, but in particular, I think Sportsland Sugo is going to be fantastic to watch.
Of course, we are back with the second round at Autopolis on the 19th of May.
But stay tuned. Don't forget to like and subscribe to get the latest information about what is coming up on this channel other than Super Formula.
And this actually is Cassie. It's a brand new helmet for this championship this weekend. He was showing it off on Friday. And
he's getting out the car backwards. Interesting technique. Now realises he can't stand there because he'll break the car. Happy Cassidy. And everybody's very gymnastic in Super Formula.
And bear in mind, this is a guy who has had a fair amount of success over the years. You know, as I said, he's twice the Toyota Racing Series champion, 3-time winner of the New Zealand Grand Prix, and he's done very well. He's got a podium at Macau as well, a race winner in European F3, Japanese F3 champion, Super GT champion in 2017, runner-up in Super Formula last year. And he had raced to 5th in the GTD class in Daytona this year as well. So.
Yeah, he's quite a versatile chap, is this fella.
He's had quite a lot of success, and deservedly so. He's a very, very, very good driver. And that is, if you ever wanted to start a campaign, you couldn't have started it better than that.
Exactly. Well, this was round 1 of the 2019 Super Formula Championship. Round 2 will be here live on Let's Go Racing on the 19th of May. That's from Autopolis. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and we'll bring you all of that live. Then in June, on the 23rd of June, Sportsland Sugo. That one will be a thriller. Fuji Speedway is on the 14th of July. Then in August, 18th of August, going to be hot. Twingring Motegi Okayama. Right in the outer reaches of Japan, 29th of September. And then the final round at Suzuka. We'll be back at Suzuka on the 27th of October. Stay tuned for all of those races, all in full here on Let's Go Racing. And we will have some news about some new championships we're going to be showing during this year. And I've just been told that there will be British GT from Alton Park on this channel tomorrow. There you go. So Let's Go Racing.
Of course, you do run on Easter Monday.
Yeah.
There's a Cassidy celebrating P1, and I can't stress this enough. A very, very deserved race win. And you know, Alex Pelou, he will be disappointed to have not lost or lost.
So you start from P12. So did you believe it?
Man, anything is possible in Super Formula. You have to keep pushing. As Tachi says every morning, flat out. So we have to go for it. This weekend has been really tough for us because I think that we've been one of the strongest in all testing. And this weekend we've lost some performance, something strange. So I think in the next round we can come back for speed. And this weekend we got the perfect points. So great start.
Congratulations. So,ですね、まず12番手がスタートということで、この順位を想像してたかという話を聞いたらですね、今のスーパーフォーミュラ
Well, there you go. Anything can happen in Super Formula, and it usually does. So Nick Cassidy there channeling Murray Walker. Who is that interview? I really do know him from somewhere. It's an Australian guy, isn't he?
Yeah. But it's just, it is right. He has won this race, and it could have been Alex Pelou's race. It could very much have been Makino's race as well. But, you know, he's got to the end. He's prevailed. And, you know, it could have been Yamamoto at the start as well. He drove very, very, very well. There's been so much actually happened in this event.
Well, there's Tachi saying he's the T of Toms. Tachi Oiwa Motorsport. And based in Gotemba, the team near Fuji Speedway. Very nice Italian restaurant in the same sort of complex where they built to prepare the cars. Really good view of the mountain. So he says thank you. Anyway, he's quite happy, as you can tell. Thank you. It's good to see Chio back, isn't it? Well, there's the paddock. We will go to the podium, but here's the race results. Nick Cassidy taking what must be an unexpected first win of the season, but just behind him is his rival, Naoki Yamamoto, the Honda-engined Dallara SF19. Kenta Yamashita in third position. Tomoki Nojiri fourth. Shosuboi fifth. Yuji Kunimoto sixth. Lucas Auer, Dan Ticktum, the Red Bull pair, in seventh and eighth. Kamui Kobayashi, brilliant drive. Unlucky to be down in ninth position, but that strategy didn't work out. And Artem Markelov in 10th position. Well, I think there's some drivers going to be disappointed. Well, definitely some drivers are going to be very disappointed after this. Nirei Fukuzumi brought it in 11th. Soshima in at 12th, and all of the rest didn't finish.
There was some big incidents as well. We saw Tristan Carpentier have a sizable incident at the exit of Spoon earlier on, and Nakajima went off as well at the same time as Harrison Nui. So, and of course Alex Pelou with his retirement. So it's been a busy race. It has been a very, very, very busy race and a very good start to the 2019 Super Formula season.
Yeah, and well, here's some highlights. It's the race highlights. I love this bit. There were some girls with big flags, and there were some cars. They took off from the start line, and it was immediately all about Yamamoto and the 2 Honda-powered cars from Nakajima Racing. But as we found out, well, look at the start there from 5th position. That was brilliant.
That was Sakaguchi. One of the things I actually missed at the start was that fantastic start by Sakaguchi, another chap who actually retired very early on in the race, despite running very well.
We saw some good battles between right through the field there, and it's interesting watching these race highlights because we're watching back. And well, there's the first shot. There was lots of dust.
Hirakawa was already off, and that was in Carpentier going off completely by himself.
The Sam Collins fan club came out with their yellow flags, of course.
Brought the first safety car.
First of many. Then there was this big pit stop. This was actually crucial because a lot of cars lost position, and there we saw another car breaking down.
That was Sakaguchi in the pits, who we think possibly had a...
We think it was a clutch issue. Nakajima went off, but entirely separately, Harrison Nui also went off, which seems to cause them some issues. And there we saw the other Nakajima Racing car.
That is Pelu. And missed the marshal post, so I'm going to bring in another safety car. And this is the battle between Yamamoto and Yamashita.
No.
Oh, no,
it is the battle between Makino.
Makino, that's it, yes. Then Makino had that failure.
Right rear failure. Very strange moment, and there was more dust in a shunt. Another safety car. I mean, Honda's NSX got some really good screen time. He doesn't look too happy about it, though.
So was that a wheel failure, do we think?
Yeah, well, I think it was a hub or an upright, some sort of wheel nut or upright failure. Kobayashi pitted, and it gave the win to Cassidy, who basically didn't expect anything coming into this race weekend. So really impressive. 1,400 of you click like. Thank you very much. We hope to we will be bringing you lots more. Like and subscribe. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter as well at @GoRacingTweets, and hit join if you want to support what we're doing on this channel. Tomorrow, of course, we will be bringing you British GT live from Alton Park as well. So lots of racing on Let's Go Racing. I wonder, it's a good name for this channel, isn't it?
Let's Go Racing.
Genuinely, as each day that goes by, new stuff seems to be announced for this channel.
There's lots of stuff coming in the future.
I know some of the stuff that is coming, and it's some really cool stuff. I know some of the stuff that's being discussed, and that's really cool as well. But here's a podium. Very nice podium. It's the Suzuka 2 and 4 races you see at the top. That's because we had a Japanese superbike series. Nick Cassidy, very happy, doing a single flag technique and a can of energy drink. Now, what's with the can of energy drink? It's an unbranded can. Oh, no, it is. It's a can of Red Bull. He's not a Red Bull driver. Is he allowed to do that?
He used to be.
He used to be a Red Bull driver, yeah. It's okay, so maybe he's trying to get back in. Get that other Toro Rosso seat. Well, less happy is there, the long-time rival. Oh, Shouty Man John's here. Sorry? Shouty Man John. The Shouty Man's here. Shouty Man. It's considered very good luck to have Shouty Man John at Suzuka shout out your name, and you can hear him in the background, and he's shouting at Nick Cassidy. There you go, it's Shouty Man. His name is John. He is a guy with learning difficulties who loves motor racing, and he comes to various races and just yells drivers' names at the top of his voice.
That is
fantastic. And that is what's going on. Well, there you go, the Tom's driver. Toyota Gazoo Racing.
Now the New Zealand national anthem.
No flags for Honda drivers. I don't know what the New Zealand national anthem sounds like. Did God Save the Queen?
今大会の優勝ドライバーニック・キャシディ選手の優勝をたたえましてニュージーランドの国歌の演奏です。 Cassidy educating
Tachi-san as to the intimacies of the New Zealand national anthem. Standing top on the podium, in front of an F1, the one and only sign. I wonder if Cassidy will have a run at some point.
I think he deserves it.
He's a Toyota driver, unfortunately, so there are no Toyotas in Formula 1, but he certainly does. Well, here comes a trophy, very big base. Nice trophy there, the top of it. Oh, NGK logo, spark plug logo on the bottom of it. Spark plug's very important in these engines because they are very high cylinder pressures at the top, being direct injection. Another big swig of the Red Bull.
It's a long race, actually. I mean, look, okay, when Nick drives in Super Formula, he is sharing the car, and while they are long races, there's stints.
He's got the deer with the bell on, which is something to do with SUZUKA sounding like Bell Deer or Deer Bell, is the direct translation, I think. That's what Barfi told me, because he's got one of those somewhere, because he apparently did some driving and won something. So,
sometime.
Apparently so. Apparently he's quite good at it, but I've never seen any of his stuff. So they're all getting their Bell Deer trophies, as well as Cassidy getting his winner's trophy. No orange jackets. Crispin Sugita says, well, I think we'll get some orange action going on at some point in future. I hope so, anyway. I missed the orange jacket from the Autobacks, sponsor of Super GT, but this is Super Formula. We've got the NGK trophy. Look, we've got Mr. Blazer's Blazer jacket with logo. And
Directing
race creams.
Someone directing photographs.
They're going to do the photos. Oh, it's lucky the top step of the podium is quite so wide, because they're going to struggle for it. Shouty Man John still going.
Yamamoto's desperately trying not to fall off.
He really is, isn't he? That'd be quite embarrassing, wouldn't it? Very civilised, this podium. Those trophies with the little dangly bell things, that's quite cool, isn't it? And, well, Nick Cassidy's staring very intently at something in the main grandstand. Not quite sure what. The podium at SUZUKA right next to the press room, which is where he'll be heading next. The press conference room. And I quite like the trophy. It's quite small.
Yeah.
But the base is a bit, the base to trophy ratio is a bit off, I think.
It's quaint. I quite like that.
But yeah, the NGK Spark Plugs logo is very well placed, actually. They thought that one through, which is not a great shot for NGK, because they seem quite good at thinking things through. And, well, they're all regathering on the podium. There's Sonia Ito, so if Sonia's there, it means we're going to get another interview, so I'll shut up. Thank you, he says.
すごい開幕戦レースになりましたけど、こんなに優勝までたどり着けるようなレースは最初にイメージできてましたか?
Yeah, look, really crazy race, but in Super Formula this can always happen. So you've got to always push, always believe, and we're lucky for the win. Honestly, we haven't had the performance this weekend, so to come away with a perfect race and 10 points is amazing.
はい、本当にやっぱり信じるべきだと思います。本当クレイジーなレースだったと思うんですけれども、やっぱりスーパーフォーミュラではならのですね、もうプッシュ最後までプッシュすればどうにかなるんじゃないかというところが本当にまさにその通りだと思います。本当に振り返ってみても、今週末はそんなはずじゃなかったはずのが10ポイントも獲得することができたというのが本当に良かったと思います。最高です。ありがとうございます。
はい、おめでとうございます。じゃあ最後に熱い応援をしてくれたファンの皆さんに一言お願いします。
You fans are great. I love racing in Japan, so ありがとうございます。See you round 2.
ありがとうございます。
日本のファンは最高です。日本で走るのは大好き。ラウンド2でもお会いしましょう。ありがとう。
はい、もう一度大きな拍手を。ウィナーのレクシキャスディ選手おめでとうございます。そしてタチ監督優勝おめでとうございます。今のお気持ちを一言お願いします。
Asking questions and translating for Nick Cassidy, and that's Tachi-san now, and Sonia's translating what Tachi said because Cass doesn't speak.
ありがとうございました。はい、タチ信秀監督にもどうぞ大きな拍手をお送りください。もう一度ウィナー、そして監督に大きな拍手をお願いします。
Sonia runs away.
I think he's just nodding.
ありがとうございました。さあ、それではいよいよここでは勝利のビシュに、そしてですね2位3位の選手も加わってのスパークリングファイト参りたいと思います。
There you go. Here comes the bubbly stuff. This is why Cassidy's looking a little bit nervous. We know there's been issues in the past. He says he's practiced, and we think that Oh, he's just going for a swig first. Good technique. And oh, well, look at that technique. He's clearly improved it. Oh, he's been told not to spray Yamamoto. Oh, Yamamoto didn't like that, did he? Don't spray me. I'll spray you. Right, put your arms up. This is how we do it. Given a lesson in champagne spraying by the reigning Super GT
it's almost
Super Formula champ.
Yamamoto said, you know, stop it, let the experts do it.
That's literally what just happened. Oh, poor Cassidy. Whenever he wins, he still gets ribbed for the champagne bottle thing. Interesting one, though. I wonder what they're actually drinking. It's sparkling something. Well, this has been fantastic to bring you the 2019 Super Formula Championship. Rather saner podium than we used to. But with like interviews and stuff that makes sense. And there go the girls, and well, they're just going to stand in front of the podium for whatever reason. And the fans now down on the grid, all going to have a little walk in the paddock, try and meet their heroes. There have been some real heroes in today's race, though. I mean, Kamui Kobayashi for me has to be the driver of the day. Fantastic to keep those soft.
42 laps on those soft tyres. Excellent stint, excellent job. Great job, and you know he maintained a very, very, very good lap time. I mean, unfortunately for Kobayashi, he was really hobbled by that last safety car more than anything else. It just brought. He then did not have enough time, enough laps to actually extend a big enough gap to actually get any worth out of that late pit stop.
Yeah, and it's the strategy didn't work out. I mean, he could have stopped earlier in the race, and I think if he had, he'd have got some points. And it just, the way the safety cars fell, just didn't go in his favour. He never got the chance to go out and build up a gap, and I don't think he would have been able to build up that gap either. It just wasn't. It just didn't work out for him.
It's unfortunate. It's also actually unfortunate as well in a sense. It's one of those safety cars. As we see the round 2, the times for round 2, May 18th is going to be qualifying, and May 19th we're going to be live for the second round of the 2019 Super Formula Championship. That is from Autopolis. One of those safety cars really were, to be brutally honest, unnecessary. When Alex Palou, he went round the corner and parked long beyond.
It was off the race. It was a very long way off the racing line, and it was hard. It was in a very difficult to recover position. So I think
when he initially pulled off, he actually drove past a gate.
Well, I think he was hoping the car would come back to life, but it didn't. And it's going to be very interesting to see what the problems that he suffered and a couple of other drivers suffered. I think it was just new car teething trouble with the SF19.
Sakaguchi as well, when he had the issue following his pit stop.
Well, we've got the brilliant music playing. I like this. It's like watching Gundam with this music in the background.
I feel like I've gone into like a second-rate spaghetti western.
No. This is like the interlude section in Gundam. That is because we're bringing up the highlights. A man had sunglasses. He looked at number 1. A man had fingers. The race started and accelerated randomly and slowed down. A man shouted. A man crashed. Another man not quite crashed. Another man
didn't crash.
Was inspired by that one and also went off. A man definitely crashed. A man looked pensive. A man looked annoyed. A man drove around a corner and won. He looked happy. And there he goes. That has been fantastic. You have been watching the 2019 Super Formula Championship here on Let's Go Racing. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and we will see you soon for round 2.